Hello, 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 hello. This is Happy Valley Hobbies, and these are hobbies that make me happy. Let's see, got this done, got that done. All right. Sorry for the slight delay. One of my antivirus programs said, "Hey, you're connected to a new network," and I'm like, "What new network?" Uh, but then again, it looked like the computer might have reset. I'm not quite sure. It's just that it's annoying that the computer was doing something that on its own without me saying that, hey, we're changing stuff. So that's very, very annoying. But uh Andy got here first, so I guess he gets the cookies, unless he wants to fight it over with Dan, who's the second gentleman on here. But yeah, I'm not quite sure where this extra oh, wait a second. Yeah. Let's see. There's this another. There we are. Is that the way? All right. Yeah, it seems that a lot of things got defaulted. So that's sort of annoying in its own right. But yeah. All right. That's one thing I don't like about computers these days. They turn around and they start doing something that you don't want it to do. Mainly because you don't know what it's up to. Uh, like I had to reset all the settings here, like with the right now StreamYard does not default to this camera. It defaults to the workbench camera. So I had to change that. And then also I use a blue snowball for my mic, but it defaults to the system mic. Which hello there, Kyle. Thank you for coming in. And so when that happens and all that, I sound very muffled because it's the mic is just not as good. So I had to reset it basically to how I want it, not the defaults. Why it keeps on going to the defaults, I don't know. It just does not want to just does not want to stay off the defaults. And it's annoying because it's like, oh, you're ready to go and all that. Oh no, now I gotta go and click all the things to making sure that they're correct. But I guess sort of kind of enough of that. Work is being annoying because I'm through a temp agency, and my contract, my minimum contract is up. So it's like start doing the paperwork to become a real employee. However, apparently the company has not done so because of an issue that I acknowledge it, and it's that I'm not fast enough. And I'm not hitting what they consider rate, which sometimes it's like, how do they come up with the rate and all that? Because there's sometimes it's like you scratch their head and the people are like, yeah, you're not gonna, no one has met you got ones that are like, no one has met this rate. That's why no one really likes the job, because it always looks bad on them. And then there's other ones that it's like, you could easily make the rate. And then there's I came across one where it's the same exact procedure. Loading up to the machine, have the machine do its thing and all that, and take it off. It's the parts are almost exactly the same. It's just that the one has extra. It has extra holes, but what it's doing is exactly the same for both parts. It's coming down, cutting off this one piece, and then cutting off 3 gates or something like that. But it's the exact same procedure, yet for some reason one door, it's almost 20 or 30 doors more between the both. Oh, hello there, Mystic. Thank you for coming in. Oh, that's why it never really put it in there, because I didn't hit enter, I guess. All right, whatever. I can probably turn around and clear that off, but yeah, but that's one of the annoying things and all that. And I admit I'm slow and all that. I'm like, okay, but the thing is, I wasn't getting any. It was the only feedback I was getting at the beginning, and then all of a sudden, for the past couple of months, no feedback at all. Talking with the employment agency, says, well, good news, no news is good news. Eventually, they did add me to. Every night they have a worksheet of who's doing what and all that. And for the longest time, my name was written in, and then all of a sudden it came to a point where they were it was typed in. So it's like, I guess that must be I am okay. Yeah, it was a little bit early. The reason why I was a little bit late tonight is because my one of my antivirus programs said, hey, there's a new network. And so I'm like, wait, where's this new network coming from? Haven't really delved into it, but I am sort of concerned. But one thing that sometimes what this computer does is it decides to, oh, I'm just going to go to defaults. That was another reason why I was late getting onto StreamYard, because StreamYard had like the camera. It doesn't default to this camera that's on the computer. It defaults to it winds up defaulting to the overhead camera. Why, I don't know. But every now and then I have to turn around and go, oh, no, I want this camera first. Same thing with the audio. I have a blue snowball mic. But every now and then it defaults, for some unknown reason, to the system mic, which is a lot worse. And that's one of the basically the reason why I was a little late today, because it's like going like, wait, what's going on? And that's what I'm hoping happened, that it decided to go to defaults and that there's not a new network, because that's, I mean, it shouldn't. Let me double check before we go too further. Dreamyard Studio, yeah, Bluetooth is off, Wi-Fi is off, the mobile hotspot is off. Working internet. Yeah, it shows that it's private network. It's not a metered connection. Ethernet 2 not connected. However, network 2 is connected. All right. Well, that's something for later on. So we'll put this onto that screen. And put that back up. So, well, I guess that's the drama, the immediate drama. But oh, wait a second. There's something I hadn't noticed before. Yeah, and that's what I thought. It actually said, there's an X on the logo for StreamYard. So I went and I clicked on it. It says, well, if you want to get rid of the logo, pay for it. It also has a auto setting for, it's like for, what it was now. Yeah, not only does it put down what I put down for the description, but it also puts a new to streaming or local up, get a 10% discount for getting something. So it's now I'm advertising for them. But that's how the way it's set up. Hello there. Oh, I want to say Dave. Am I correct on Dave? Well, Mystic, actually, that's a good point. However, I do not. I have everything hardwired, specifically so no one can get onto it. And it shows that it is an actual it's an actual connection. So it's using the it looks like it's using the same exact connection. The only difference is that it's been renamed. Again, why was it renamed? All right, that's good to know. It's slowly getting in this thick skull of mine. But yeah, that's the silliness, I guess, of the network connection. So I also mentioned work and all that fun stuff. So and because I'm not hired on as a yeah, this computer thing's been is pretty much a fad. It's a fad that's, for me, started with 5.25-inch drives. When floppy drives were floppy. CRT monitors. I think EGA was the high standard at that time. So I don't think it was VGA. It was not VGA at the time. Bring back pencil and paper. Rumor has it you can actually still you can still get those. You can even get punch cards if you really want to go that far. One of the interesting things is that there's it's amazing how things are backward compatible. I mean, here you have a smartphone, and with the right adapters, you can actually connect this to a 5.25-inch drive. Yes, I think some places still train messenger pigeons, but yeah, I actually had this set up. It wasn't a 5.25-inch drive, but I have connected a smartphone to. I think this was a couple of. If I remember correctly, it was one of my Blackberries, which was one of the last. One of the last models before they decided, we're just going to do software. And that's a look north of more smoke signals. Well, hopefully the smoke signals didn't come from your the blue smoke from your computer. That would be bad. But yeah, it's with the it seems that with the right adapters and all that, you can still access older equipment. And there's I think there's sometimes they show Oh, I think I just realized something. Hold this thought. I just had to realize it's like, why is the background music louder than normal? Is because I didn't reset it back down to 10%. It automatically defaults. Here's another default that it automatically defaults to 20. And it's like, yeah, let's go back down to 10. You know, something that doesn't sound like I'm trying to talk over it. But it was rainy here this morning. But other than that, it has dried up. It's still pretty cloudy here in southern Vermont. But the weather's really odd right about now, because just before the Friday just before April, it was in the 60s, and it's like I'm like, why is it this warm this early? I should not be. I happen to comment that I should not be going to work in shorts in March, but it is what it is. Just have to deal with weather. All right, let me get this back up and running. Silence it. Okay, there we go. Got the phone outside so I can turn around and say, "Oh, hello, Mr. Dodge and Cayenne." The Cayenne, the real uh the real person of the show, correct? Okay, now we need to back to settings, unmirror the camera. All right, that looks more sensible. All right, now to switch over to I know John from Schuylkill Valley Railroad. He actually turns the cameras off so you don't see him moving the camera. Seems to be a little silly for me. A little silly, but everyone does their own thing. Now, one of the things I did last week, this is where I left off last week, but one thing I have been doing is doing my best to complete the other side because, well, you don't really want to see both of the same thing. But as you can see, I got this one not only finished but pretty much trimmed, except for this little part that broke. This one I sort of didn't quite. Oh, wait a second. That's not in frame. That's just wrong. Sorry about that. There we go. This is where I left off on this side last week, but I did my best to. I almost got it completed on this side, so theoretically by the end of the night, the other side will look more like, or this side would be looking more like this one. And as you can see, I get well, except for this little part here, everything's all trimmed, ready to be capped. And that's one of the things I got to figure out how to cap this. Mainly because the one here, on the ends, it's pretty easy because they're flat. However, on the top, if you notice here that they're actually angled, and this is to keep the rain from puddling on the top. It just runs right off. So that's what I gotta figure out on that. Now that's going to be. And so right now, we'll just finish up the edges here. Start adding stuff on here, and we'll go that direction. Might have to trim here, make that a nice end. Do that now before we start going too nuts. Yeah, from what I under, yeah, if you go actually look at the Anthony Dodge's channel and look at his logo, that was done by his daughter. So I would say check that out. All right. All right, we'll toss this. This will be the I should have changed the wax paper before heading on tonight, but I did not. Probably do that afterwards. You clean part of this. More white glue. And all right. Now, one of the things I have noticed with this glue, which which is okay for what I'm doing. Gotta re-glue that. Is that when I put the glue on things that have been stained, the glue actually picks up the stain, which is okay because I'm either, like in this case, not really interested in having it stained, or it's stained for the color that I'm going to be doing it. So now, basically, it's sort of like rinse and repeat of what I did on the inside. Oh, that's nice to know. So, sort of a business question is, what does she charge for logos? Because I think that's what the sidetrack is interested in. I myself would be interested if I had a little bit less of a less than ideally steady job, or no, if I had a steady job, because right now The job right now is steady, but I'm a temp, so that could change very quickly. And I realized that I didn't put the. Now, I'm not quite sure if I can do this, but I think I might be able to. Da, 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 da. Okay, looks like the liquid is 70% isopropyl alcohol. So I would think I should be able to reconstitute this back in the bottle. And it's one of the disadvantages of when being a freelancer that everybody assumes, hey, you're a friend of mine. Can you do it for free? It's like, oh, time is money, and just like usually a person that man, I lost my train of thought. But no, if you respect a person's work, in my opinion, you should pay what you think it is. It's saying, hey, can you do this for free? That to me is sort of cheapens it. That's just my opinion. Okay, mount this around. Why, thank you, Mystic. Right now, tonight, I'm trying to make this side look like this side. I did this one off camera. As you can see, it's all nice and, whereas this is not trimmed yet, this is all nice and trimmed. Well, except for that little part, because I had to add another small little piece there. I put in a piece that was just a little bit too small. But there is, this side also has a slight issue with this. This is not straight. So this is going to be on the back side anyway. So instead of cutting a new piece and all that, I just added on one of these little pieces over here. Well, I would have to say I'm not able to trade Anthony with any of my equipment, mainly because his is 3-rail AC, mine is 2-rail, well, DCC. But it is still not, stuff is just not compatible. I mean, he does have some English stuff that it might be compatible with, but it's mostly Markland, so I have really nothing to trade. All right, now there. to here. And one of the things that I have done is that I'm not really planning to trim the bottom. And that is because, if you sometimes when you look at these bridges, depending on who wound up actually making them, depending on how nice the bottom was. But the outside sheathing is which Chris is this? All right. Put that over there. So that one might be able to use this little piece over here. So looks like your daughter, or I should say Anthony's daughter, might be getting a couple of commissions done. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, it's sort of kind of interesting on who shows up in streams. I mean, sometimes you just don't realize who the people are. There was one group I used to hang out with. I don't, haven't really hang out with them since the pandemic. But it's a medieval reenactment group, and they are. There was one time one person was talking. They were fighting somebody on the field, and with the rattan swords, not actual swords. So you don't have to worry about actually. Well, you have to be careful, but it actually it actually takes some things. It actually takes some effort to actually kill somebody. You can hurt them pretty bad, but killing is very hard to do. And usually when that's starting to happen, the officials that are, the referees come in and go like, hey, whoa, back off now. So, and during one of these encounters, a friend of mine actually turned around and found out that, what was it now? I want to say he was fighting next to, apparently, the King of Sweden, complete with his, his security force, because my king is a history buff. So, yeah, I want a little bit higher. That one I think I didn't make quite long enough. Or, let's see if we can get on the other side. Yeah, actually, that works better on this side. All right. And as you can see here, where not quite sure if you can see this on camera, but this is where you can see the fluid picked up some of the okay, yeah, we'll go there. Now this one I have to be a little bit careful because this is going to be the I guess in the film industry they would call the hero side. Oh, sure, Lindy loves. Let me finish this piece off, and then I can go over to the computer and turn you blue. And I do something similar to what your father is that if I recognize someone that's been on the channel a lot, I turn around and turn them blue, or if I recognize them. And shouldn't have put down the glue first. Wasn't thinking on that one. Yeah, it's one of those things that I had a plan, sort of, kind of, but I have sort of resigned myself of let somebody who knows what they went to college for. I think you wound up going to college, if I remember correctly. Or at least have done it professionally. So yeah, sometimes it's actually probably this so much of, oh my god, we got to do everything ourselves. Ooh, that went way too long. Okay, let me wander over the computer. Okay. Well, Lindy Loves, I think you are now have a blue wrench, so you can turn around and put in your email address or anything else that you need to do. Yes, it works. Let's go over here. Let's see. Let's just go to channel. Okay. All right. Looks like I gotta actually turn around and copy paste the whole thing. All right. Start a. We'll start a new message and we'll finish it up afterwards. So you are very welcome, Lindy. And also give Kyan an extra hug for me. Rumor has it I was cute and adorable at that size. But okay, now back to this. Now, what is the, I guess, the nominal that you pay for a logo, or not quite sure exactly how the whole. I mean, for myself, I'd never asked anyone to do a logo before, so I'm not quite sure what the whole process is. Is For me, right now I work as a temp employee, and I guess I'm towards passive, where they would turn around and go, "Hey, we want you as a full employee." But apparently, I found out, because of an issue. Well, it's a constant issue. I haven't been able to figure out how to fix said issue, and that is, well, I'm not the world's fastest person. So they decided not to hire me on full time as an actual employee. So I'm stuck as a temp. And when I asked, it's like, how long is this going to be? They said, well, my temp agency, well, they can keep you indefinitely that way. Which means if there's any sort of downturn, which is annoying, because that means I can't really plan on a lot of stuff. And, if I have something that is like, ooh, I really want this and all that, but it's more of a want than a need. So it's one of those things of going like, I really, really want it. However, it's just not happening. So, but I have applied for a different position at the. Ooh, actually, we have this upside down. Let's say we put this way, with the rough edge on the bottom. Sorry, I keep on forgetting to lean forward and making sure everything's in the process. uh, yes. It's one of those things with me, and I'm aiming for a logo that sort of reflects what I'm doing now, but future proofed, where if I decide to do something that's a slightly different time period, it would be future proofed against that. Right now, I'm doing basically the the America Centennial, 1876. But I might wind up doing something different later on. Mainly because, well, one, I have different stuff. That's one of the reasons why I named the channel Happy Valley Hobbies, because the original plan was um, do hobbies that are sort of adjacent to each other. Things like, you got model trains, but then you also got you got electronics, machining, and other interesting things that can be done that are they're model train adjacent. Yeah, a lot of people are thinking that Happy Valley Hobbies is a model train shop. It's like, hey, what do you have for your XYZ and all that? It's like, right now, I want to say it's nothing. When I originally started the channel, it was smack dab in the middle of the pandemic, courtesy of Heath, so hashtag blame Heath. Because I was unemployed at the time, and then I wound up turning around and getting employed. So that's why, even though this is a quote commercial channel, I never really commercialized it, and didn't do all the things to make it a like and subscribe, ring that notification bell. And then actually, I was going to see about for the notification bell sound effect. Actually, go with a train bell instead of a lot. A lot of times, for some odd reason, a lot of the bell notifications seem to be boat inspired. Not necessarily ship, but definitely boat. This is usually a ding ding. I was seeing more something a little bit lower toned and obviously a slow swinging bell. Oh, hello there, Rex Trains. Thank you for coming in. Let's go this direction, a little bit flatter on the end. But yeah, basically going down, and as you can see, I'm getting smaller and smaller strips. I'm assuming that's your channel, Mystic. But yeah, I never quite understood that only moderators can share links. To me, there should be something that, well, in my opinion, something that's halfway between a normal person and a moderator. Someone that can't really, someone who can't really moderate, but they can turn around and post links because that can be useful. Rick's channel. All right. I'll let that dry for a second. All right. Just happened to did not realize that the chat sort of blew up on me. So, well, one of the things of apparently there is a Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, which I did not know. So that adds to another uh, another level, yeah, another level of I don't want to, I'm not sure what the term is called. It's unintentionally misleading. Because you know, a lot of people think that oh, this is you know, a hobby shop, and it's like it's not. Um, Now there are some things that I would like to do to see about getting them, I guess, produced and actually like for models and everything. But right now I'm I'm set up to prototype stuff, but not necessarily production wise. That makes any sense. Hey, no problem, real artist. I'd say as long as you give your wife an extra hug from us. You know she's going through a lot. Actually, wait a second. Let's change the settings on this. Because this is stop messaging at all. And community moderation, no. But Oh, hello there, Randall. Thank you for coming in. Of course, getting close to the end, the parts get smaller and smaller and smaller. Start getting a little bit more of a challenge to actually manipulate. Uh, after I'm actually done with the whole bridge, I am going to send an email to Rick Hunter, who designed the original bridges that I've done. I have done the normal Queen Post Bridge. Then I've done the covered Queen Post Bridge, and this is a covered truss Queen Post Bridge. And basically let them know things that probably should be modified. For one, it is since I'm adding stuff on the inside, it makes it narrower. So it's no longer NMRA compliant. When I did the regular Queen Post Bridge, it actually says, it actually talks about how originally he designed the bridge that he designed was, very accurate and down to the board of everything. However, it was finally realized that it wasn't up to NMRA standards because it was too narrow. The standards are actually to have the bridges wider, mainly the clearance wider, mainly because they go around sharper turns. And that's when I decided to, when making my the first bridge actually 6-foot gauge, because technically in real life it would be the wider, the wider gate, the wider gate. Excuse me, the wider gauge actually has a wider loading gauge. And at the same time, the cars are actually shorter, so I don't think you need as much clearance, but that could be all right. Well, thank you for coming in, Lindy, and letting us know how to contact you so you can make our uh, make our logos much prettier. Give Cayenne an extra hug from us, and see you around. I work second shift, so I probably won't be on your father's chat on Friday, which at times can be annoying. But thank you for coming. All right, let me double check the time. 7:51. All right. I did not get nowhere as near as I wanted to tonight. But we're going to finish these two boards. And let's actually flip this one around. Are we flipping it? Or is it already dried? I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but on this one, I actually, when I cut it. Apparently I double cutted it. And so let us take this off without destroying it. Ooh. So it looks like Randall's heading away from home again. Well, hopefully they don't have you far away as they normally do. Oh, well, that just... Okay. I goofed on that one. But hey, I could use this. I could use this shorter one someplace else. All right. Let's try this one more time. This time it's a single cut. We'll use this for a shorter one. Now, whose comment did you miss, Rail Artist? Ooh, that's sort of odd having us having a 6 minutes to. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, 3-foot section missing. That's sort of kind of odd. But you know, how did that section disappear? Okay, go this one this way. Because rail doesn't really disappear easily. Huh, road crossing. Still, it doesn't quite make any sense in how it missed, but I do see where it could be easier. Well, it sounded like a very interesting adventure, Tony or Anthony. I have to say, there's times that it's one thing I sort of admire with children is that I want to say they understand joy. Or they can do joy very easily. You know, they can be crying because they're hurting or something like that, and then you do one thing, and all of a sudden they stop crying, and they could literally be laughing the next moment. So I think it's one of the joys of being young that unfortunately adults have forgotten. Or forgotten to do. All right. So can we use the... Yeah, we can use the purple one for the next one. We can use that as a measuring stick for... This will go last one. If I'm remembering correctly, for Sidetrack Sunday, I believe it's Ray tonight. Or is it PK? I remember they were sort of tag teaming this month. Ray is on tonight. That's what I thought. Thank you, Real Artist. And put that one there. We'll swoop that up that way. Put this over here where it'll be trimmed off. And basically basically rinse and repeat until you get to the end. And it'll look along the lines of this line. And then, adding the side pieces. What I'll probably wind up doing is capping these off. All 5 sides, both ends, the side pieces, and the top. The top, I think, is going to be the most of a challenge, mainly because it's at an angle, whereas everything else is sort of like straight flat across. Yes. Good night, Rail Artists. Thank you for coming in. Bouncy camera. And we'll switch cameras. Yeah, it'd be nice if StreamYard had a slightly easier way to switch between cameras. Because, instead of going into settings, change the camera, and then go back out. All right, Mystic. Thank you for coming in. And so, same with everybody else. I'm not sure when I'll get in contact with Lindy. Well, since I already have a email started and all that with her contact information, I'll probably do it sooner than later. But yeah, I guess I'll see everyone on the streams and over at the Rays. So, well, I think the world needs more love. So find your passion, add some silliness to it, and spread it around. Bye.